Alright, so my roommate finally went out to go get food, which means I get to do this. So I'm over here, I'm playing Sylvans. If you don't know what Sylvans do, well, you should look it up. I don't really have time to explain it. And my opponent, if I swap sides, you can see he is playing Spellbook's Prophecy. And he doesn't have a bad setup. So let's go back to my side. I let him go. I won the rock, paper, scissors, or he won it. I don't know, but he goes first. So we'll see what he does. And so he's gonna go first turn, grab secret, search out the tower. This is so. Whoops! I didn't mean to swap. Well, that's the end of his turn. So we look at what he did. He searched out for secrets to get. What did he get? He searched, or oh right. So he used Blue Boy to get secrets. Used secrets to get the tower. Used Spellbook of the Master to copy secrets and search for fate. Played the tower, played his face down, and ended his turn. So if we look at my hand and what I have first turn Mushroom and a field spell. Not too much, like a D-Prison. So I'm just going to play defensively. Like, I'm not even going to play the field spell, so that way he pretty much has to, yeah, and I draw our Woboku. So he doesn't know what I'm playing, which is quite good. Switching back to his side, he's got room for quite a few plays, actually. So he's going to use Tower. Now this is the beginning of where he misplays. He's going to use Fate to get rid of my back row, which I set. Like, of course, like whenever you're playing online, you never play your best card first because it always goes to the center. And if people have an option to get rid of anything in your back row, they always hit that center card. So if I played my defensive and my bluff center. And see, like, his best card, Mirror Force. Though when we were dueling initially, I thought, because I saw him add Fate, so I thought this was a face down Fate. I didn't know he had a Mirror Force, but it didn't really matter. So he's going to use Spellbook of Fate to hit my face down. Maybe he was fearing a bottomless trap hole, I don't know, but that's that was stupid on his part. So he's going to play Temperance and special High Priestess of Prophecy from deck because he has one in hand. I honestly, I probably would have summoned Priestess from hand, but that's not really a misplay. In his case, he's probably just trying to thin out his deck, so he played Priestess from the deck. Especially with Grand Spellbook of Tower, he can easily add spellbooks to his hand and special the other one from hand. So it's not that big of an issue. But again, this is where I question his play with the Spellbook of Fate. Because he has a Priestess, and his only spellbook in grave is Fate. If he had left Secrets, he could have used Priestess's effect. He could technically still use Priestess's effect to destroy my monster, and I would have taken 3,000 damage. So, but you don't want to banish Fate as a spellbook player, because then if you don't get to an Eternity, you can't really play. So this is where things, like, okay, you have the bigger monster, and you attack with the small 500 guy. Like, what were you thinking? Just what were you thinking of all the plays you could have done? And this is where, if I switch back to my side, this is where he decides to rage quit. Because if you look at what happens, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it was a double marsh leaf of anything. Like, most pro excavate ever. So double marsh leaf is going to hit both of his monsters. I got, what did I hit? I got Peacekeeper, so I'm probably going to special the Flower Knight. I could have specialed Peacekeeper and tried to go for more excavates. Though I didn't know how the chain was going to resolve. So, because I don't want to play it because the video is going to end shortly. But yeah, if I used, because depending on how the chain would have resolved, a smart move would have been, yeah, I'm pretty sure it would affect, because this is how it ended up going down. The Marsh Leaf and the Marsh Leaf destroyed his monsters. Flower Knight put a Sylvan at the top of my deck, and then Peacekeeper specialed my Flower Knight, which is how I'd set it up. If I had played a smarter strategy, I would have used Flower Knight to set up something like, oh, I don't know, maybe the Mushroom, and then have Peacekeeper special summon himself, so he would get to excavate the extra Mushroom and get rid of his last back row, or the tower, whichever I really didn't mind. Like, that on my part would have been a smarter play, but yeah, because, so in terms of the chain, it's basically whichever card hits the graveyard last gets its effect first. It's just a little something that I didn't really know. But yeah, I pretty much decimate his entire field and get a ridiculous advantage. Like, I could have gone next turn, summon the tree, play my field spell, and done some crazy shenanigans. Actually, I think I put a Flower Knight on the top of my deck. So I would have drawn into a Flower Knight, probably discarded the tree, put something else on top, and then used summon Flower Knight, did something. I don't know. I had a few different options to go from here, especially with that defense. But yeah, he, like, all the shenanigans, and he just decides to quit, basically. Like, end phase, he quits. That's the end of the game. Like, and it's not that bad. Like, I can't really swap now that the replay ended, but he had a way to come back. He had another spell book, or he had another magician in hand. He had his field spell still. He had the Mirror Force face down. He could have gone search for Eternity, add secrets back. Like, I don't know why he rage quit. He's not. I wouldn't rate him as the best spellbook player ever, but still, that was a bit like, just why. He might have had a chance to win, and I wouldn't have been surprised if he did. But it's like, you know, yeah. But yeah, that was like the most pro Excavate I've ever had playing Sylvans. Like, seriously, all the best Sylvans to Excavate. Like, the Flower Knight was a bit iffy, though if I had realized how the chain was set up, I probably would have used Flower Knight better and gotten a lot more advantage. Like, especially if I had Peacekeeper summon himself. It would have been then I probably would have tribute summoned my Hermitry, which isn't something most people do. But just because I could set up loads of things, I don't know. It was crazy. But yeah, this was a rather short duel, and I made it rather long, so maybe I'll make more of these, I don't know. But Sylvans, like, and I'm playing this, I'll probably do a deck profile as well. But it's a pretty nasty deck if you ever have to play against it and the person knows what they're doing. But yeah, till next time.